Welcome back to Mint Alpha Lotus. I'm here with you for another arena draft event. I'm going to finish up the draft that we started earlier in the week. Currently, we are 3-2, which is not a great standing, but it's also not the most amazing deck in the world. We do have a cool Thrumming Hive Pool and this Celestial Colonnade, which are fantastic. Some great high-end stuff in Mouth of the Storm. Specimen Freighter is also awesome for bouncing. Starbreach Whale. The Mechan Assembler is a great card. And we got some removal here with Tractor Beam, Radiant Strike, Emergency Exit, Focus Fire, Cryo Shatter, and even like a Desculpting Blast can help tempo as well. And some great little cards here and there. Some good artifact payoffs for the Mechan Assembler. And then one of the key elements of the deck is this Moonlit Meditation, which is kind of cool. We are hoping at some point we can get this down and either play this onto the Thrumming Hive Pool or a Mechan Assembler. That would be the dream. We did earlier in the draft play it onto a Starbreach Whale, and that was absolutely crazy because we got a token, which then turned into another Starbreach Whale, which then allowed us to scry even further, or surveil even further, I guess. And then, yeah, we just kind of took over at that point and won the game. But yeah, it's, I mean, it's been a bit of an odd draft. We did have a few non-starters in things like Ragost was something I was hoping to be able to maybe splash, but I don't really see that as a possibility. We've got this Weft Blade Enhancer that we didn't put into the deck because we do have a lot of stuff in the high end here. Now, some of it can be warped in like the Whale, but, you know, we still have to be a little bit cautious of how much high-end stuff we have, because if we start a hand with nothing but high-end, that's not good. We've got a great little Lost in Space there as well, and even the Unravel, but this didn't really feel like that much of a control deck. It felt a little bit more tempo-y, I guess, so yeah, there you have it. All right, so let's get this started. We're hoping to pick up maybe 1 or 2 more wins. We'll see how it goes. We got absolutely blown out in a couple of games. One was where we just did not see something coming. That was a little bit nuts. We got beaten down from 12 in 1 turn in a board state that we really were not expecting. Okay, well, this is great. Yeah. Starfighter Pilot down first. We can get the Shieldmate down after that. We are on the play, which means we have potentially a little bit of pressure. Okay, opponent on green. No first turn play. Okay, opponent's going to shatter that. That's fine. Wow, nice. Mechan Assembler is a great little draw. I think we just play the Shieldmate down now. I mean, it would be better to hold it for the Assembler, but, yeah. No attacks. At least it gives us a blocker. Oh, wow. The Crasher. That's pretty nice. I mean, I think here we're just going to hold up. We can always play the Gale Blade as a flash and see what opponent wants to do. Also got that Focus Fire, which is a great way to deal with that Crasher. I think here we just get rid of it. All right, Psionesis is okay. Wow, Ancient Tomb. That's kind of nutty. Hive Pool's nice, but we can't do much with it currently. I mean, the question to me is like, do we just want to attack in with the Gale Blade and then potentially even just blow it before our turn? Yeah, let's end turn here. See what opponent wants to do. We might just end up ejecting that Psionicist. Oh, we'll take 2. I think I'm gonna toast that. Nice. That is great. Okay, let's get that down. And here, again, I think we just hold up. Okay, if the opponent wants to take some damage to go get a land, then that's cool. If we draw into one more land, we can play this hive pool, which would be really nice because the assembler will also get a drone token for us. I mean, here I think we just block. I'm okay to trade. That is fantastic. All right, let's get that down. Hope opponent doesn't have a counter, which they looks like they may. Nope. Awesome. Yeah, we get some robots. I'm going to attack with the assembler. All right. Some decent pressure. And opponent scoops. All right, yeah, mech and assembler and the hive pool is a nice little combo. Sure. And I'm just going to try setting something differently here. Twitch is saying our stream is a little bit unstable, so want to make sure that our bit rate is a little bit better. Try that and see. Yeah, again, we're still just kind of trying to get our settings all correct here. It's the first few weeks of streaming is really tough, but the nice thing about it is without like a huge audience, you can make all these mistakes, fool around a little bit, try to, you know, get everything perfected. Definitely been trying to add a lot of stuff to the stream, as much stuff as possible, in order to just make it a little more fun for myself and for everybody. On Twitch, we're hoping to get to 10 follows, because that will then bump us up into a place where we can use bits on the stream, and then people can do like little fun interactions and stuff. Streaming is one of those challenging things where, like, you know, you want to have a situation where you can make a fun channel and make it engaging for people, but the engagement tools don't come until you already have like a number of followers. So I think, you know, the first few weeks of streaming, definitely challenging, but it has been a ton of fun. It's something that I had wanted to do for years and years and years. Like when Strixhaven first came out, I really wanted to get into streaming, but my life was not in a situation at the time where that would have been very viable. It's tough. And I think that's, I mean, the case for a lot of people. If you have like full-time jobs or a family or whatever, then streaming can be pretty challenging. So, you know, here we are 3-4 years later, and I'm finally in a situation where I can devote a lot more time to streaming, and it's been a blast. Like, The streaming part is fun, but all the technology stuff is cool too, like setting up all of you know, the mics and cameras, tweaking little things. Like this week, I fooled around with the EQ on my mic to try to get some better sounds, and that's been really neat. But yeah, it's one of those, you know, labors of love, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't enjoy it. I used to do radio broadcasting and podcasting back in the day, long time ago. And so it's been cool having an outlet again to be able to broadcast and just, you know, see where that kind of takes things. All right. So yeah, that's another win. Again, I mean, there are some cool things in the deck. I mean, definitely getting the Mechan Assembler and the Hive Pool and being able to play both of them. I think if we had missed a land drop there, we would have been in a lot more trouble. But with the two of those things out on the battlefield, I mean, all we really needed to do then was draw into Moonlit Meditation and then put that on something. And then every time, like, so Moonlit Meditation, enchant artifact or creature you control, the first time you would create one or more tokens each turn, you may instead create that many tokens that are copies of enchanted permanent. So if you drop that on the Mechan Assembler, then the Hive Pool spits out 2 tokens and you get 2 more Mechan Assemblers, which is kind of nuts. In the first game where we got this combo out, we had the Mechan Assembler on the board and we actually put the Moonlit Meditation onto the Starbreach Whale, and the whole rationale for that was because the whale is 3/5, and so we were getting more whale tokens. I was a little hesitant to put it on the Mechan Assembler because I wasn't sure if the opponent had something like an Extinguisher Battleship, something that could take out a creature that had 4 toughness, and the idea of getting like all of those Mechan Assemblers wiped would have been not a whole lot of fun. But yeah, that worked out really well for us. So I don't know. That's a fun little deck. There's some great little surprises in it. All right, let's get to another game. I mean, if this deck goes 4-3, I am not going to be even remotely upset with that. We didn't open, like, our pick 1, pack 1 was not fantastic. I don't remember what we opened for pick 1, pack 1, but I don't think we picked the rare. And then we've kind of waffled around a little bit. It's, again, hard to find the lanes sometimes. All right, Jackro. Oh, wow. That's somebody up in Diamond. Okay, I'm first here with a hand that's pretty hefty. I mean, turn 2, I can play the Starbreach Whale. I can warp that in. And I am on the play, which is cool. We do have a couple of little pieces of removal here. But in general, this is kind of a slow hand. So we'll warp this and see what we get. Like, optimally, I think we want to try to get some stuff that is... Oh, wow, okay, so this is a little dicey. I mean, I'd like to keep the download, but, like, realistically, I feel like we probably need to bottom that and go for something that's a little more quick. Yeah. I mean, with this, the assembler is not going to be of any use. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. Yeah, I mean, next turn is turn 2. We don't need another 5-drop. We do need to hit some more land drops, but we also need something in the interim because, yep, here we go. Okay, this is great. We've got 2 plays here. This, we're going to Cryo Shatter the Mechan to make sure that he does not start ramping on us. Yeah, the Zookeeper Mechan, fantastic play for Cryo Shatter. If he wants to tap for mana, that's fine, but he can, he'll end up destroying that. So opponent on a 3-color deck. I mean, it could be a good sign for us. Yeah, okay. So that's toast. That's all right. Here, we just hold up, I think. If he decides to attack, then we can Radiant Strike that. Definitely don't want to take 5 damage, so that's all right. Okay, opponent's continuing to hit their land, which is nice, and so did we. So, I think here I want to get the Starbreach Whale down. rather than the assembler. I do want to draw into the mouth. So, I mean, this is okay. This gives us some good tempoing possibilities. Yeah, I mean, I think we keep this. Like, we are already starting to pressure opponent a little bit. Yeah, let's just keep that. He might have some way to deal with that whale, but then, I mean, we can also deal with the land seeker currently. Does he have a pain for all? Okay, just an infiltrator. That's not too bad. Okay. Now we've got the eject, so I think what we really just want to do is, The question is, will opponent be able to double spell next turn? I mean, there's a really good chance they have a plunge in their hand. It wouldn't be surprising at all, in which case they're going to get in for an absolute ton. Especially if they can double spell and then start drawing cards. I don't know if we just maybe hold off here and try to make sure that we're safe. This is kind of, yeah. I'm just going to play the board. If opponent has something to remove my creatures, then so be it. And then I'm going to attack. It's pretty aggressive, but we are ahead in life. And, I mean, I feel like Mech and Assembler... Oh, wow, a Harmonizer. That's a great play. 8-3. Intimidator, also good. Yeah, you can create some lander tokens, I think. So that's unblockable. Yeah, we need to, we absolutely have to destroy that. Unfortunately, it's a 2-for-1, but we're going to have to emergency exit the Harmonizer. Cannot have that sitting on the board, unfortunately. Especially with the lander tokens. Let's start racing. Hopefully next turn we draw into a land. That would be nice. Can play out the Specimen Freighter. Now again, I mean, opponent's drawn a lot here, so... Oh yeah, he's going to continue to draw cards. That's not good. Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, and here's the double spelling. We are definitely starting to fall behind. Probably should have just held back, but okay, here we go. This is all right. Some good tempo. And then here, do we just pass turn? Probably. I mean, I don't really want to be stationing that. Yeah, I guess we have to play a little defensively. Like, opponent's drawn now multiple cards off of that infiltrator, which is too bad. But that was a good tempo. Yep, there we go. Okay, trooper, it's all right. Yeah, I think here we just need to play this down. I'm gonna get in for 4. Rayblade Trooper does hold off like a couple of the big ones like the Thawbringer, but not to say the opponent doesn't have some sort of removal in hand. Germinating Worm's a good play. Yep. Be able to go back up in life. Doesn't have anything to station with it, thankfully. Diplomatic Relations. Okay. Yep, that's going to deal with my whale. We do get a counter or a token, so that's okay. All right, well, let's prevent ourselves from taking too much damage here. Oh dear. Yeah, okay. So this is probably over. I mean, they have enough on the board kind of to wipe us now, which is brutal. Yeah, that is good, but not really good enough, unfortunately. Uh, 2, 4, 6. I am gonna go to station this, I think. What is this? It's sacrifice an artifact. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. That's not... I don't think that's a good play, but I think we have to do something here. Does opponent have an orbital plunge is the question. I mean, they have been drawing so many cards. Yeah, 2 more life. Interesting play. Okay. What do we do with this? Oh, Lord. Okay. Yeah, I think we're just a bit too late, unfortunately. I mean, that saves us quite a bit of damage, but not really enough. I mean, yeah, we've got too much coming in. No, I think this game is over, unfortunately. Yeah, okay, dude. Yep, I mean, that's game. Oh well. What can you do? We just let that infiltrator get out of hand and draw them like 4 extra cards and they just ground us down. But that's the way these games go sometimes. That's unfortunate. We had a decent start, but our hand didn't have like a whole ton of action. But again, like 4 wins, 3 losses. That's okay. That puts us in a great spot. Okay, so let's start a brand new draft here. Zero Point Ballad. Wow, okay. I mean, that is a game-breaking card for sure. The All Faith Stalker is also absolutely ridiculous. The Prospector, Faller's Faithful. This is a stacked pack for black, but yeah, I mean, I've got to take the 0 Point Ballad. That thing, we have seen that reverse so many games just after playing it. I mean, that is something that you can go from completely losing to completely winning, especially if you play it on 6 life. So we're going to start with that. Starfighter Pilot. Black and white are crazy here. The Desculpting Blast, good. Zookeeper Mechan is also good. But at the end of the day, I mean, nothing beats a 0 Point Ballad. Nothing here is even particularly close. The 2 next best picks are the Faller's Faithful and the All Faith Stalker. But yeah, 0 Point Ballad, no competition. As I said, you know, completely game-breaking card. Now, next is Space-Time Anomaly that somebody passed, which is not even worth picking. Radiant Strike is good, so maybe we will grab that up. I mean, there's also the Galvanizing Sawship, which is a fantastic, fantastic card. I think let's try that and see how Rakdos is looking. The Purgy Beckoner, I mean, I wouldn't second pick that for sure. The only other thing here that's of any interest, probably the Germinating Worm, maybe the Light Jammer. Yeah, maybe but like, I think the Sawship is fantastic. And of course, yeah, the Radiant Strike, but let's grab that. So we're looking at potentially Rakdos, but I mean, we do want to stay open here. Like, as good as the 0 Point Ballad is, it's not necessarily like we have to be in that. Okay, well, this is kind of interesting too. I mean, we could potentially try to splash Ragost. Tanuk also kind of splashable. I mean, the 0 Point Ballad is splashable at the end of the day. We've been seeing some good white stuff. The Virus Beetle is a good card. Let's grab the Ragost. I really want to play with this card. He seems very fun. And I mean, then we have some decent synergies. The Spacecraft is also an artifact, so we'll just have to keep our eyes open for Boros artifacts, which doesn't seem like it'll be that tough. And maybe some fixing as well. Okay, Hymn of the Faller now. That's fantastic. Pangolin, also a good pickup. But I think him has got to be the pick. Decode Transmissions would be nice. Pinnacle Killship's good too. The Pangolin would be nice to grab, but I don't think I want to grab it this early. So let's go him. Which is putting us a little more solidly in black, which is fine with me because black is currently our strongest card with the 0 Point Ballad. But we did pass a ton of amazing black. So pack 2, we might not see a whole lot coming back. I suspect whoever we pass black to, you know, that's definitely going to get around the board and get grabbed up. Another hymn. Wow, okay. I don't know that I necessarily want to pick another one. I mean, it is a fantastic card, but I mean, there's also a Zookeeper Mechan here, which is both an artifact creature and a way to ramp. And in the late game is fantastic as well. The Atmospheric Greenhouse, I'm not that sold on. Like in Selesnya, where you can potentially go pretty wide, maybe, but I'm just not that hyped. Cosmogoyf, new, absolutely not. Depressurize, however, is an incredible pickup. The Frontline War Rager is not something that I would favor very highly. However, the Sweeper is great. If there wasn't the Depressurize here, I would grab the Sweeper for sure. So grab that. Here now, okay, we've got another Mechan. A Command Bridge is a very nice pickup. I think I might even just go for that. Though, yeah, I think we just snap up another Mechan. I mean, they are so good. Ice Cape Crasher is a great pickup here. There is really some good Selesnya stuff here. No question. Yeah, I mean, the Command Bridge, I think, would be exactly my pick if it wasn't for this Mechan. But since we are trying to do like an artifact kind of thing, I think that might be the best option. So, I mean, white looks like it's maybe we're splashing white. Hard to say. The Red Tiger Mechan is a fairly decent little synergy with something like Raghost. You can play it multiple times, but here I think we just take the color. Starfighter Pilot. Don't really want the Rig for War. I don't want the Dark Endurance, so we'll grab this. And maybe we're in 3 colors. The Scrapper would probably be a good pickup, but the Melded Moxite, I think, is even better. Okay, so now we grab the Mechan. They don't tend to be that hard to pick up. Yeah, I guess we just grab that. And got a gear anyway. Oh, wow. Okay, so that's nice. If we're in black, then yeah, Sunset Saboteur is insane. The Voidforged Titan is absolutely ridiculous as well. But you know, I mean, he's also an artifact. Now I've got to take the Saboteur. This thing just wins so many games, especially if we can pick up some more stuff. Again, this pack is so stacked for black. We didn't really see a whole lot of black come around, which makes me think there's going to be a lot of people in black, unfortunately. Brew Tender, that's quite good, but the Circuit Feeder, which is also an artifact creature, also kind of quasi-removal. Again, there's a Sweeper here, which would be nice. The Orbital Plunge would be absolutely crazy too, especially since it creates a lander token. But yeah, here I think we want to get some more high-end threats, which we don't have a whole ton of right now. Elemental can be okay. Not what I would call amazing. The Pangolin. Let's grab a Pangolin. We've got a lot of 2-drops here. Like, I favor the Pangolin over the Elemental. The Elemental's a little bit better in Gruul, where you do have like more land drop synergy stuff. I mean, we might not be playing the Starfighter Pilot at all, and the Pangolin is an amazing pickup. You know, again, there's some good white here. Like, maybe full-on Boros was the way to go. Blinkmoth Nexus is cool, but not that cool. The Voidborn or the Beetle, we need more 3-drops, so I'm leaning towards that. The Nebula Dragon, also a good pickup. Bombard, actually... can we wheel the Bombard, maybe? Probably not, but I absolutely do not see the Voidborn wheeling. There are quite a few people in black, for sure. Another Pangolin here? Maybe even a Decode. I think maybe Decode is probably a little bit stronger. Scrounge is not... No, it's not really something I want to be in. Not with this deck. Yeah, let's go for the Decode. Okay, an Interceptor Mechan is a fantastic pickup here. That's incredible. Yeah, I definitely see playing that. Another Pangolin, Bygone Colossus, not particularly useful. I mean, I guess there's nobody in black-green? That is a good card. All right. Hull Carver. Yeah, I think Hull Carver over yet another Zookeeper Mechan. Like, currently we're not ramping to a whole ton anyway, and a Hull Carver does make a nice defensive, and it's an artifact creature, defensive play. Nothing. I mean, I really don't see playing the Chrome Companion. Not exciting to dirtle quite that much. I mean, here, maybe we take it anyway. Whatever, we'll put it in the sideboard in case we need another playable, but I really don't think we will. I'm going to sideboard this as well. Not exciting at all. Nothing here. And nothing here. All right, pack number 3. Wow, Lumen class frigate. That's nice. Stomping Ground, not that useful. The command bridge, however, is quite useful. Vote Out is fantastic. Yeah, so let's grab that Vote Out. Yeah, if we were in Gruul, I would be grabbing the Stomping Ground so fast. But yeah, Vote Out definitely here. There's literally no red cards in this pack. Lumen class frigate's great for like a go wide deck. I mean, it's an artifact in this deck, but not exactly where I want to be. Wow, Halia. That's quite nice, but definitely not splashable. The red cards here are all terrible. There is nothing in black but a Comet Crawler. Then I guess the Comet Crawler is what we're going to be taking. This pack is terrible. The Mouth of the Storm, Whale, and Halia are okay, but everything else here is... Actually, let's grab the Molecular Modifier. That's better than the Comet Crawler. Marginally. It's a 3-drop, so that's all right. Ruinous Rampage. Wow. Nope. Do we just grab another? Like, there's a Voidborn here. I mean, maybe we grab another one of those. There's a Sweeper, which would be nice, but we do need more 3-drops. The Graph Pack Monoist is okay too. And yeah, another Mechan, but I think we just grab another Voidborn. I mean, they're a pretty fantastic creature. Another Saw Ship might be all right. There's also Command Bridge. Yeah, I mean, here I think we just grab another Saw Ship. You know what? I'm going to grab the land. Like, we have so many playables. No, I'm going to take the Saw Ship. They are fantastic for high end. And we are still currently quite light. Debris Field Crusher. That can be good too. Another hymn, though, maybe the way to go. Like, Debris Field Crusher just feels like a very expensive lightning bolt. We've already got a couple of spacecraft. I don't want to go too deep into spacecraft, so we'll take another hymn. What? Wow, there's been quite a few... Okay, that's another artifact, though... Yeah, that's a pretty decent little... Oh, no, there's a plunge here. I've got to grab the plunge. That is fantastic. Pain for All? I'll take a Pain for All. Yep. Pain for All is a nice little late game gift here. Bombard did wheel. That is amazing. Now I wish I had taken the command bridge because, man. Okay, so I mean everything here is kind of junk. We'll put a decode into the sideboard. Also junk, so we'll throw Halia in here. Another Mechan. Rig for war. Yeah, so we're definitely not playing the Starfighter pilot. There's no need. We'll see how we're doing for Ragos. We might even scratch him. And endurance, no. All right, so we have to cut 4 cards from this mess, which is not going to be the easiest thing in the world, I feel like. There is like actually a pretty decent amount of good stuff here. So we're at 3.0, which is okay. Let me check something here. I am just going to check something. Let's see here. Settings. All right. Yeah, Twitch is not too happy today with how my stream is going. In terms of just the amount of data that I'm shipping to Twitch today, I feel like something is off. I might just have too many windows open and be streaming too much of myself back to me. Here we go. All right. So how are we doing? So creatures, non-creatures, that's decent. 12 artifacts, that's quite good. That definitely makes Ragos like a very viable threat. So artifacts you control a food in addition to their other types. Yeah, gain 3 life. He deals 3 damage to each opponent. Yeah, I feel like this is a decent little deck. I think I'm going to cut one of the Mechans. The Pangolin. I think I'm going to cut that Mechan. I mean, you could play it on 2, but it's not that thrilling of a card. So that gets rid of 2 artifacts as well, which is unfortunate. How are we doing for removal here? We've got a Depressurize. We have Bombard, Orbital Plunge, and Vote Out. Oh, and Pain for All. And of course the 0 Point Ballad. So I think we're okay for removal. I mean, Hull Carver's kind of a little bit of quasi-removal as well. So that's okay. Yeah, I mean, the great thing about Ragos is you can always like block with stuff and then potentially sacrifice it. Let's see here. We want to type is creature or type craft. So that's all right. Yeah, I mean, we've got a nice little curve. Like, maybe we get rid of another pangolin as well. Now we need to cut one more card. Probably a non-creature. I feel like the decode transmissions potentially is probably, that could be the best way to go to get rid of one card here. I mean, I definitely don't want to get rid of maybe the swarm color, actually. Does that provide us with a ton of value? I mean, we've got 5 cards in the fairly high end. Like, we definitely don't want to get rid of the circuit feeder or the saw ship. Those, that will be like, you know, our win conditions. We also have like a ton of life drain here, which is pretty cool. Now, Voidborns are a little bit better in the Orzhov go wide. Here, I mean, if we're sacrificing artifact creatures to Ragos, then that's great. Because the Voidborns will then also drain the opponent. Yeah, and I mean, we can use Ragos to just sacrifice the Moxite potentially, rather than getting the artifact creature token and then sacrificing it. So that's cool too. We don't have anything that provides any lander tokens, do we? Oh yeah, we've got, yeah, okay, Orbital Plunge. That's it. Oh. Yeah, making the last cut always the most difficult thing. Can just be so brutal. I mean, we have a lot of stuff that can be threats. Like the Pangolin can be a very big threat if we start playing a bunch of artifacts out. Voidborns tend to be seen as a bit of a threat. The Mechan is great because it gets us an artifact or creature card back. Really I just do not know what to cut here. It cannot be a creature. I don't know, maybe it's just we cut one of these hymns. We're still at 3.0, which I think is okay. And we can potentially overwhelm. With Zookeeper Mechans, we can get up into the high end. How are we for mana split? 12-12. It's all right. Yeah, if we had more ways to get lander tokens, I'd be a little more hyped. And if we had been able to take one of those command bridges, I mean, at some point we probably should have taken one a little more highly if we were going to play Raghost. I mean, realistically, like, we don't even have to play him, but I do feel like he's probably worth playing. I mean, even if you can get, like, 3 damage off of him or gain 3 life, that can be all right. He is a very strong card, especially with, like, the Voidborns, with our ability to use... Yeah, let's just try this. And I mean, worst case, in insane emergencies, we always have the 0 Point Ballad. This is going to be odd. Like, I've never played a deck like this in draft before, so we'll see how this goes. All right. All right, we're up against Bob. Okay, I am on the play with a Saboteur in hand. I like those odds. Not a whole lot else, but I think this is a fine explosive start. I wish I had a turn 1 play, but I mean, I only have like 1 turn 1 play. So worst case, this potentially turns into something that they have to discard a card to get rid of, which is all right. Well, amazing. Happy for that. I mean, if Saboteur gets in twice, then... Oh my goodness, Pain for All is any other target. I didn't even realize that. That's so crazy. So Sunset Saboteur might end up doing like 12 damage right off the bat here. I think we see what happens here, but I mean, Melded Moxite is probably going to be our play next turn. Okay. Opponent turfs a land. That's their turn. So here, I think we just attack. Get in for 4, which is nice. And then let's play the Moxite. I'm going to toss the Saw Ship because we're not close and we want to be hitting land. All right, this is okay. Yep. I am going to bombard that, I think. Actually, you know what? I'm going to get in for 5 here. And next turn we'll bombard. I mean, my rationale is like either he has to try to deal with this Saboteur and like maybe cryo shatter it or something like that, and in so doing give up his turn and drop an extra card, or else we continue to get in for an absolute ton. I mean, we're already in for 9 if he doesn't do anything else. Like if he attacks with the Flight Deck Coordinator, that's going to be a lot of trouble. We've got Depressurize, we have Bombard. And opponent's on 4 land. They could potentially Tractor Beam, something like that. All Fate Stalker, yep. That is certainly something that they can play. But we can remove that, which is all right. I'm not going to block that. I get in for another 3 this turn. So unless opponent can deal with that Saboteur, I mean, we're going to win this game. We can do 8 damage next turn. They need some sort of like really good blocker. That is not going to do it. I mean, even stuck on 3 lands here, which is far from ideal, we've been able to pull way ahead. Yeah, they don't have enough to station that, and if they try, then they're going to get run over. Okay, well, that's game. Oh, no, it's not game. Okay. Oh yeah, it is game, because we just pain for all them. I'll just do that. And go face. And that's that. Yeah, stuck on 3 land, and that was pretty effective. I mean, this is a decent little deck, and I mean, if you can be on the play and get Sunset Saboteur out, that's really hard to beat. That creature is so aggressive, it is ridiculous. I don't think anytime I'm on the play, I don't think I would ever not keep a hand that had Sunset Saboteur in it. All right, I think I'm just going to take like a 2-minute break, and I will be right back. All right, I am back. Yeah, it's been a weird day around here. There's so many wildfires raging right now, and my connection hasn't been particularly stable. So Twitch has been complaining that my bitrate's a little bit too high. YouTube seems okay, but Twitch is, yeah, a little bit upset with me for some reason. Not exactly sure why. But yeah, we're gonna try to make the best of it and keep going with our stream. So okay, so that turn we had like one of our best possible openings. I mean, Pain for All plus Sunset Saboteur. I mean, that is just so much crazy amounts of damage. And yeah, like, I mean, it's hard to overcome that. Plus the molecular modifier, which is not a great card. I mean, that also added like 3-4 points of damage, which that can help. I mean, a Sunset Saboteur, that's 20% of opponent's life every turn. So it doesn't really take all that much to get to the point where you're overwhelming them. Like, if you can do 4 additional damage, that is 1 more turn off the clock that, you know, you can just kind of beat them down even more quickly. I think pitching the Saw Ship was good since we didn't end up getting anywhere near the late game anyway. What did we close out on? Still 3 land, was it? So yeah, that was good. And I mean, we did have some more removal in our hand, which we were going to look at getting rid of some of these creatures we put counters on. It's absolutely fantastic. The thing about Sunset Saboteur that, like, I mean, I've played Sunset Saboteur a bunch in Paper Magic, and I've played him a few times now in different drafts, and always trying to figure out the best place to put the counters is what is tripping me up a little bit. But, you know, the more practice I get with that card, the better, obviously. We've been getting quite a few subscribers on YouTube, which is fantastic. I'm definitely looking forward to getting a few more on Twitch as well, because once we get up to 10 followers on Twitch, we can start using channel bits and creating like little fun things that viewers can do in order to interact with the channel. Different actions, stuff like that. Okay, so we've got a Sunset Saboteur again in our opening hand. Ragos is not what we really want to see, but we're on the play, so... You know, again, if opponent kind of dirtles a little bit here, then we're in a pretty decent situation. I would have really loved to see some removal. So, I mean, let's do 1 damage here because we don't really have anything else to do. We can bring him back. Oh, I guess it doesn't... he's not really dying. He's... yeah. That's an interesting distinction. All right. The question will be, will opponent want to remove that? Probably with a Cryo Shatter or something like that. Okay, I mean, this is cool. Let's get down the modifier. May as well do a little bit of extra damage. So opponent's got 3 more turns left if they don't play something as a blocker. All right, that's 1 blocker. We are kind of going off here, so that's all right. I mean, we could really use some hard removal. Hullcarver makes a nice blocker. And of course, Modifier and Hullcarver together. Really nice combination. But yeah, I mean, opponent just has to play something else here, and we're like a little bit stymied. Okay, Cokecracker Hound, not bad. Cool. That triggers our Voidborn, which is nice. Okay, 0 Point Ballad is all right. Now, it's much worse for us. All right, destroy all creatures with toughness X or less. You lose X life if X is 6 or more. So that's something we can think about. My question, though, is do we just want to kind of attack all? Yeah, I mean, I think we just attack in with Sunset Saboteur, the Voidborn. Like, we either get in for 4 or we get in for 5, so... I mean, this is, again, it's a little bit awkward, but... Let's do this. Yeah, they're going to double block here, which is good. So we'll get in for 4 anyway. Get rid of him. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, realistically, we only need to do a couple of more points of damage here to get to the end of this. We can always 0 Point Ballad for 4 at this point, which is okay. So if opponent keeps playing stuff like this out, then, yep, okay, that's a good play. Yeah, I think we're going to discard the Ragost because realistically, without the land, this is way too slow. I think this is game, isn't it? Let's do this to get rid of him. I think we do that so opponent has to block that way, which will end up doing another damage to him. Puts him at 1, and then we just have to 0 point for 1 or for 2 next turn, and then that's game. All right, good game. I guess opponent's gonna close it out themselves. Well, that was, I mean, that was a very valiant way to go out. It's not what I would have chosen, I guess, but wow, this deck is so aggressive. It is absolutely nuts. They could have potentially had something to gain them a little bit of life, so we were playing it a little bit fast and loose. I mean, we still had the Saw Ship, which could have, that could have absolutely helped us, but like, I mean, if opponent had, what, the Lasher or whatever that gains 2 life, you can warp that in, gain 2, gain 2. If they had started going up again in life, we would have been in quite a bit of trouble. But man, like, that was ridiculous. These 2 games have been crazy, but it's all thanks to having Sunset Saboteur in the opening hand and being on the play. Like, even if we had been on the draw there's no way we would have closed that game out in enough time. And, I mean, we would have played very differently, given those circumstances. But that was insanely aggressive, very stressful. Ragost, cool, but, again, not helpful there at all. I don't know. Part of me just kind of even wants to take him out, play another Pangolin or Zookeeper Mechan, like probably a Pangolin. But I don't know. I mean, with the right mana, if we had gotten the correct mana there, I think that would have been fantastic. Yeah, especially, you know, with the Voidborns. I don't know. Let's try another one. So let's do maybe one more. We'll see how long this takes, but I do want to open some packs later on in the stream. I find the opening pack thing is a whole ton of fun. This has been a real hodgepodge mess of a stream. I apologize for that. I think starting out by finishing up our draft from the other day made it kind of threw everything off here a little bit today. So in the future, I'm going to try not to do that. So much of my time has gone to bootstrapping up our stream, trying to make some interesting things and, you know, building up the bots and stuff that we use in the channel in order to provide some cool little features. Ooh, this opponent is still in gold, so they must be doing quite well in this draft. This is, I wouldn't say this is great, but I mean, we do have a Hull Carver to hold things off for a little bit. And I mean, we've got some removal. The Saw Ship is not coming out anytime soon, but we also don't have any red in this hand. A Circuit Feeder is not what we wanted to see. This is going to be a very, very slow opening hand. I don't give us a whole lot of great odds here, potentially. Now, a Voidborn is really, really nice. We can even warp that in next turn to trigger our Faller, which I think is probably what we'll do here. Because it would be nice to draw a couple of cards. But again, we'll see what opponent does. Okay, Kanazoa. That will tap my creature. Yep. So here, I think we do want to draw 2 cards. I don't want to miss a land. No, we can't do that, can we? Because it's a sorcery. So I think we just end up playing it out. Okay. I am happy to have that. The lander token will be quite nice. Okay, so this is absolutely fantastic. This is kind of our dream come true. I want to do this. I want to blow this. Let's go get another red, I think. I'll play him. Bombard I will keep. Yeah, Bombard is nice. Another land is incredible. So next turn we're looking like really good. All right. Wow, this is great. So does opponent have a whole handful of removal is the question. I mean, I think here we just really want to be as efficient as we can. God, we have so much removal here too. This is nuts. No, I'm going to play the modifier, and then I'm going to use my lander token. The feeder is awesome, but I for sure want to hold that up for next turn. Yeah, so let's pass turn. Okay. Opponent is on 4 lands now. I mean, this coming turn, we can play the Saw Ship, and we can also crew it. Let's go get another black. Another Saw Ship. Oof. Oh, this is really awkward, isn't it? Because we cannot attack with both. That's unfortunate. So then maybe we just play the feeder. Yeah, let's get in for 7. I mean, I feel like he's got a destroy tap creature. Yes, of course he does. Yeah. That's fine. Much rather it be that than the circuit feeder or the Saw Ship. Alright, that's a lot of cards. I have 3 cards left in deck. Wow. That was not what I was expecting at all. I think we do this. So we have got to close this out really, really quickly now. Oh man, that's... Yikes. Okay. Let's do this. Navigator. All right. Wow. This is so close. Got 1 card. Ooh. I cannot believe how close this is. Question is, do we just try to get in for 10 this turn? And then... Yeah, let's do this. We'll get in for 12. Okay. And I think that will potentially end the turn. Yeah, okay. I mean, we're presenting a lot of damage. And we do have 2 removal. We've got 3 removal with more than enough to use it. right, opponent's going to draw a discard. I'm not going to block anything. This is so close. No blocks. It's all right. Opponent's going to draw another card. They're one away from that Mechanozoa, which would have wreaked havoc on us. Operator? Yep, okay. And a Technician. He's all tapped out, so we can deal with those. We'll remove this. And then we will remove this. And yeah, we win with 0 cards in library. I thought that gives an achievement. It does give an achievement. Okay. We got the achievement. Yeah. That's nuts. I can't believe it. I never thought I would get that achievement. That was so close. That was absolutely insane. I cannot, and man, to have that on stream, that's so exciting. Incredible. Let's see here. Our YouTube subscriber goal is all messed up in the stream. That's something I'm gonna have to look into, but yeah, let's go get this achievement. I can't believe I got that thing. That is so crazy. Win a game with no cards in your library. What an absolutely nuts achievement. And yeah, for opponent to have cast that thing on us with 20 life, I cannot believe it. Like, the space-time anomaly is not a good card, and it's not something I would draft unless maybe I also drafted the sweeper that then played into that, and I don't know. That's absolutely not something I would be doing. Let's get rid of this follower's goal thing because that's broken. Once again, we are trying to bootstrap up all this different technology, and that follower goal thing is not how I wanted it to look anyway. So I really appreciate everybody's patience in trying to put all this streaming stuff together. We're not even at the 2-week mark yet, so the fact that we're kind of where we are, I'm happy with our progress, but I spend like pretty much all of my free time working on trying to improve things in this stream. So, all right, we've got, a little less than half an hour left. Let's go take a look at our Midweek Magic. Was really fun. I hope some of you had a chance to play Midweek Magic this week. I'll take a look at that. You could, in this Midweek Magic, you can play like whatever decks you want. So it doesn't really say that. Bring a 60 card deck with only cards from the most recent set and demonstrate your mastery of the new cards. Nowhere in the description does it say that you can use cards that you don't have, which is, I think, a little bit, of an oversight. I started out by I just built a deck with cards that I had before I realized like everyone is playing multiple Ouroboros against me and just like the craziest stuff. So then I just went and grabbed a deck from online so I could kind of blow this out. It's an interesting little landfall deck. The biotech specialists are absolutely insane, as we saw in our first matchup, how the lander tokens, and especially with the intimidators, you can get like multiple lander tokens, drop this, and then you are looking at just an absolute wreck of a game. The Famished Worldsire, also a crazy card. I'm not sure I'm totally sold on it. I think it's a lot better in limited than it is in constructed because, yeah, it gets big and you can use it to like clean your deck out of land, which is kind of cool. When I played this in one of the games I was playing, there was only 4 land left in my deck and I destroyed all my land. And then the opponent just killed this thing because it's just got Ward 3. Like Ward 3 is great and everything, but when you're already down to the last 10 to 15 cards in your deck, Ward 3 is not really going to matter because if they have some sort of removal spell, then they've got the land to pay the Ward 3. And it doesn't even have trample or flying or menace or any sort of evasiveness. So to me, it's great. It's much better in limited formats where people are much less likely to have the sort of removal that that you would see in a constructed format. So play it in your limited and play it in constructed. I don't know. Anyway, let's give this a try. It was kind of fun being able to try out some stuff. I've also got, so I mean, I've got like another, we'll open another Edge of Eternities booster today, but I've got some older stuff too that I've been wanting to open, and it is my plan to go back to older sets because, you know, I'm an older player and I do like some of these older sets. Okay, so this is cool. Gene Pollinator turn 1. 2 World Sires. They're never going to see the light of day. We'll see. Not a great hand, but I mean, at least we've got some early ramp. We've got the Biotech Specialist to get us another Lander token. The Remnant Elemental is far from the most thrilling thing in the universe, but this will help us hit our land drop, and we may as well get in for 1. Yeah, the decks in this are just nuts. Like, everybody's playing the highest of the highest end stuff. Okay, opponents on Dimir. I guess we can actually... No, we can't play this. Why is it... Oh, because we can warp it in. But I mean, are we going to double the power and toughness of stuff that is not particularly useful? I don't think so. Let's do this. And then we'll just attack in for 2. Opponent probably going to remove my Biotech Specialist. Yep, we'll be pressurized. That was quite predictable, let's say. I don't want to say that was predictable, but, you know, that was pretty predictable. Do they have some more removal is the question. Okay, so... Okay, so this is going to be a bit wacky. We can warp it in. Yeah, opponent's got more removal anyway. Play the land to do that, which doubles the power of that. Opponent's going to remove that with a depressurize again. Yeah, okay. But that just fizzles, doesn't it? And opponent scoops, yeah. Those gene pollinators, very sneaky. It's, I think the fact that you have to tap something else makes them very confusing. And all these mechanics around like landfall and stuff like that. But yeah, we were about to hit for quite a bit. What was that going to be? 2, 4, and then 6. That was going to be like 12 damage. So that's okay. Gossip's Talent. It's too bad. I would have really liked to play Bloomburrow. It's like, I'm a huge fan of the old 80s films, stuff like Secret of Nim, Watership Down, and even the stuff moving into the 90s like Redwall. But yeah, I mean, these little animal, like fierce and valiant animal stories, just fantastic. And a bit of an allegory on our own society. Okay, so that was so quick. Let's try one more. I mean, again, I recognize this is a real hodgepodge of a stream today, and I apologize for that. I really do want to try to keep my streams a little bit more on track, but the last few days have been so crazy, and I've just been trying to, I think, probably just do a little bit too much. But that's all right. This week, I want to focus a little bit more. So who's excited for the new Avatar set that's coming? Oh, wow, a Rust Harvester. The Avatar set is coming out fairly soon, and that seems extremely exciting. They've been starting to release previews of some of the cards. Some stuff got leaked, of course. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty neat. Okay, so we're going to get in for quite a bit more here. All right, I'll get in for 1. We're drawing stuff that is way too high. But I feel like if we can I mean, if we can draw another land, we'll be looking at a little bit better of a place. Oh, Lord. Yeah, okay, there goes Edge Rover. That's okay. We'll get a lander token. All right. Okay. I mean, we can play that. Though I guess... I mean, is it better? Now, let's just hold up and... he wants to try to get in this turn. He's going to have to do something about those things. Sure. I mean, he's on Izzet, so he's probably got... Nope, just a self-craft mechan. Okay. Yeah, Rust Harvester. That's a good play. Can't attack in, though. But, yeah, you can probably crew that gunship. 6+. Not quite. Okay. Here we go. All right. His opponent got some more self-craft mechans. Oh no, he's going to orbital plunge. All right, that's good. But synthesizer lab ship. Wow. Okay, that's a strong play. He's going to finish the gunship. Just 4/3 flyer. That's, you know, not the most exciting thing in the world. Okay. Ooh. That's pretty tasty. So here, I think we warp this in, and then we play a land. Yeah, opponent's got to block that. Jump. So, do we even really care about... Probably not. That's okay. It's a good chump. And then next turn... Next turn we can do the same thing. I mean, I wish we had something with trample here. That would be nice. He's got an orbital plunge. Yep, he absolutely does. Okay. So, that's over. Yeah. And a relic, that's alright. Yep. He's gonna get in for like 4, 5, 6 probably this turn. I mean, I'm assuming he's gonna continue to station that ship. Yep. There you go. And create, yeah, a token, get in for 6. Now, I mean, my thinking here is that we probably, or, okay, he's just going to keep stationing. That's interesting. Was that 9? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think I just want to, I think I want to go get more land. We are very low on land. Okay, I guess not anymore. Let's do that. I guess we'll pass the turn. A trampler would be very helpful here. Harrier, good play. Mechan, yep. So now the Rust Harvester can deal with our Harmonizer. There you go. And he's got enough mana to do it, I believe. Okay, he's going to station that. Okay. Interesting. I mean, he's got blockers, so that's that, I suppose. Put that down. Ah. Yeah, he can jump with the Harvester. All right. Yeah, this deck really needs, I don't know, trample. Making enormous creatures doesn't really matter that much if, like, if you can't do anything. That's, yeah, I mean, he's got 6 in the air there, and he can tap the Rust Harvester to do some more damage. That game is over. But yeah, without trample, I'm not sure I understand what the point of this deck is. Again, it's just something I grabbed from online, but like, yeah, I think it would be better off with some more Ice Cave Crashers. I got through my games very, very quickly because midweek Magic is one of those things that like I do enjoy it, but like I like to get through it pretty quick. All right, so yeah, and I mean 4 of those Harmonizers is not going to be, or 3 in my hand is not going to be particularly effective, especially without drawing like a ton of land. And this this set doesn't have like a lot of great ways to get a pile of land. So what do we get? We got a robot / lander token. Oh, we're not in the, aha, okay. Let us go to, let's go to the card scene. We're in outer space. All right. So yeah, I've been changing a few things up just to make things a little better on this scene. We've got our nice outer space backdrop, and I put like this plastic case just to keep the cards a little bit more from sliding around. So that's, yeah, I need something. I still need something a little better, but every week we improve a little bit more. So this card I really do not like in Limited, the Lux Knight Breacher. I always feel like no matter what sort of payoff you get from this, it's just never really enough. Maybe in like an Azorius artifacts deck, this might be a little bit better. But realistically, in Limited, like what are you looking at? Maybe 2, 3, 4 artifact payoffs. It's not, you know, it's not a threat, but like it is often so situational. And here's the big guy that we were just talking about, the Ice Cave Crasher. I think that would be fantastic in that deck. I can't remember if he was actually in there or not. Let's, I feel like there was not Ice Cave Crashers in here, and there is absolutely not, which I feel like the Ice Cave Crasher would be a lot better than the Remnant Elemental, which often does nothing. So I don't know. It's probably something I should have done myself. This card is fantastic. That is a VIP card. The Orbital Plunge, 6 damage to target creature. If excess damage was dealt, then you create a lander token, and almost always you're ending up with a lander token here. And that enables so many different synergies, including like the artifact synergies. It includes like landfall stuff. Having lander tokens is great. And then, you know, stuff like a Gene Pollinator can just tap the lander token to act like land. Speaking of lander tokens, one of the better commons in the set, certainly one of the better green ones, And we're on a green transparency here. So again, another thing I need to fix is I need to get something pink or something that I can key against that's not green, because the green cards tend to fade away on this backdrop. But yeah, Sammy's Curiosity is an amazing card. Gain 2 life, create a lander token. Fantastic in the life gain mechanics, fantastic in the artifact mechanics, in the landfall mechanics. It's a great way to fix this card. I would play a lot of this if I could, and certainly in Selesnya, where you have something like the Halia Guided by Light that cares about drawing life, then this becomes an absolutely fantastic little trick where you can warp in Halia, and I say this every week, you can warp in Halia, gain 1 life from her, gain 2 more life, now you've gained 3 life, you draw a card. So Sammy's Curiosity can potentially draw you a card, and we have done that in our drafts. It always feels really good. This guy, I didn't really care that much about at the beginning, but I'm starting to feel him a little bit more. A 1/2 for 1 is already like quite a good stat line. And then for 2 mana to sacrifice another artifact or land, draw a card. And in a world where you are, where you have like the mechan assemblers that are creating robot tokens, you've got the station monitor creating drone tokens, anything where you can pump out artifact tokens, even the land, the Starforge that creates robots, in the late game, this can be absolutely mental. Now, not to say he's necessarily going to survive to the end game, but I mean, that's the dream. Here's another bad boy that helped win us that first game. We would not have won that first game without Swarm Color. Absolutely amazing. That and, you know, those 2 saw ships. I mean, we just got so lucky there with the absolutely correct cards. It's nuts. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be clipping that scene where I won the game with no cards in the library and got that achievement. Yeah, I hope all of you enjoyed that. It's always crazy when you have like just a bonkers game like that could go either way. Like, what a nail biter. Anyway, the Swarm Color, I think, is a perfectly great card. Oh no, it wasn't the Swarm Color. It was the Monoist thing that we had that won us the game. Sorry, Swarm Color. Yeah, I'm up and down on the Swarm Color. It's not a bad card. It's something I would replace in a lot of limited decks because it's, I don't know, it's just okay. It's not bad. It's not good. I would definitely replace it with a Monoist Circuit Feeder, because the Monoist Circuit Feeder, I think, is a lot better than the Swarm Collar. Even though the Swarm Color is like a little bit cheaper. Melstrider's Gear, absolutely terrible in limited. Do not play this. It's garbage, in my opinion. Like, probably one of the worst commons in the set. Artifact Equipment, when it enters, attached to target creature you control, it gets +2/+1, has reach. That's already not that impressive. And then the Equip 5 makes this just absolutely useless. If somebody destroys what this is on, which is probably going to happen because you're probably going to want to be playing this in a world where you maybe want to bounce stuff. But yeah, you're going to have to waste an entire turn to re-equip this. Like, it will never get re-equipped again at Equip 5. And it's not worth it. Like, you're better off playing a cheap combat trick that just gives +2/+1 and then you're done. That's basically it. Something like the thing that provides hexproof indestructible. I forget what it is right offhand, but that's a lot better than this. And of course, I get a phone call. We get a Sammy Ship's Engineer. That's another great way to get some robot tokens, and fairly easy as well to double tap. I think Sammy Ship's Engineer is a great card. You can tap him. You can have him tap a buddy. If you have some spaceships that you can station, then you can be doing this every turn. Again, that's to me why like the 2/2 flyer is so powerful. The sweeper or whatever. I think it's the sweeper. That thing is so great because you can station it up really cheaply. And if it's on the board, it is a 2/2 flyer that can either chump or maybe even get a little bit of damage in. So to pressure opponent a little bit. And then if you get down to Sammy, you can always just station that after the fact. Even after it's been stationed, you can just be stationing every turn to get yourself some robot artifact creature tokens. And then once you get a few of those tokens, then those tokens make more tokens. So the value engine there is just nuts. This is one of the best uncommons in the set. probably in white. There are a few others that are really good, but man, Starfield Shepherd is a fantastic card. The fact that you can search for planes or for a creature that is 1 or less, I have used this numerous times to go get a Hull Carver that then becomes a fantastic blocker. This thing is so versatile. The only way this could even be better is if it searched for any basic land, and then it would be just nuts. This is not good, in my opinion. Scrounge for Eternity, I really don't like this in Limited. I think it's a bit of a time-wasting card. In fact, you can return a spacecraft with mana value 5 or less, a creature or spacecraft. I mean, you create a lander token as well, but you have to sacrifice something for it. So, I mean, if you sacrifice a lander token, then you're getting your lander token back. But I feel like it's just way too situational, and in a lot of cases, you're probably wasting your turn just I mean, I guess it brings it back to the battlefield, so it's not that bad, but this is not what I want to be doing in Limited. It's just a little bit, man, this pack has been absolutely stacked. A Siege Ship Agrarian, another fantastic card. I have lost so many times to this card. It's one of those things where, like, whenever I get this out on the battlefield, it gets annihilated immediately. And whenever opponent gets it out, it just turns into a value train and runs me over. Often it's like 8/8, and I'm like, man, I wish I had been able to remove that when it was viable, but no longer viable. And then we just played against this. This is an incredible card, Synthesizer Lab Ship. Fantastic card that every turn, if you can even just station this for 2, you really get your value off of it. If you have lander token or some sort of just very, very simple token out on the board that you can turn into a 2/2 flyer every single turn, to me, that's great. Yeah, I mean, I think it can even do it to itself because it's up to one other target. Okay, so it can't do it to itself, but that's okay. It's still amazing. You don't really need, like, even if you have a drone token, which is a 1/1 flyer, this turns it into a 2/2 flyer. That's a little bit of value, even in that case. And we got a foil Fungal Colossus, which is not that bad of a card, but nothing that I'm going to cackle with glee over. However, this, for a common card, is something I will cackle with glee over. It is a full art planes from this set, and these are gorgeous. Like, these full art lands are absolutely stunning for this set. Like, they really outdid themselves. It has that feel of exploration, that feel of kind of alien windswept landscapes. So exciting. Whenever I open one of these in a pack, I'm always thrilled, especially because I'm not that thrilled with, like, the normal lands, but man, like, the plains is beautiful. The swamp is just stunning. They're like, every time I open one of these, I'm very, very happy. Even though, not a great card, not going to win any games with a plane, but I mean, you're also not going to win any games if you don't have any planes. So there you have it. All right, so that kind of brings us to the end of the stream. Let's pop back to our gaming stream. So let's take a look one more time at our Limited deck here. So, I mean, we're in a situation where we've won 3 games, and so we're 3-0. That is better performance than I thought this was going to do. I'm not going to lie, because, it's an aggressive deck, but it's not that interesting. The fact that we got our Sunset Saboteur in, 2 of those games? We didn't see him in the third one, but he was in our opening hand in the first 2 games, and we were on the play, meant we were not losing those games. Like, the odds of us losing that, opponent had to have a ton of removal. And in that third game, like, opponent was stuck on, I mean, it's unfortunate. They were stuck on 3 lands, I think it was. They burned so much removal on so many of our junk cards, and that was also great. I feel like they were maybe a little bit too hyped to burn removal on stuff that was not going to close the game out that much. Like, generally, even if I'm stuck on a few lands and I have a handful of removal, I still don't tend to remove 2/2s. That's not, it's awkward, right? Because like to use premium removal on a 2/2, like, yeah, you're preserving your life total, but realistically, opponent's probably going to play something more powerful the next turn. And that's what we did. I mean, we played all of our top end cards and we had them just hammering away. Like we had the Circuit Feeder and 2 Saw Ships by the end of it. Now, the fact that they were able to play Space-Time Anomaly, if they could have turtled down a little bit more and just preserved their life total a little bit more, they would have won by decking us out. That was so close. I hope you all were here to see that. And in real time, like, what a crazy, like, nail-biter of a game. I really did not think I was going to win that one. I have to go back and watch the replay of that because this is very, very exciting. Anyway, that brings us to the end of the stream. What did we learn here today? Well, we learned that Rakdos is actually like really quite aggressive. I mean, the archetype for it is what? Void? Like it says, you know, use the Void mechanic at the cost of creatures and artifacts, then trigger devastating events. I don't know that we saw anything like that, but like Pain for All, crazy card. We didn't even use it to its fullest extent because the second part of it is whenever enchanted creature is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to each opponent. So it kind of turns it into like that, what's the name of the werewolf that you know, or even it's a bit like the Fear of Missing Out, where whatever damage it takes, it's dealing back to the opponent. So we could have turtled down with a blocker and like really ground the opponent down there. Or, I mean, even if you're attacking with it, if the opponent decides to block, then you're going to be doing that damage to the opponent anyway. Like whatever, if they block with a 4/4, you're doing 4 damage back to the opponent. Pain for All, I can't believe that got passed to us, but I mean, I guess the person that was sitting next to us was not in red at all. But man, what an amazing card. The fact that it's already like a punch spell and then just really continues to deal a ton of damage. Very helpful. Those Voidborns, quite helpful. I think in that one game, the Voidborn did probably 3, 4, 5 damage, and that was what put us over the top. Like once the opponent was at 1 life and we had a Voidborn down on the battlefield, like what happens? I mean, they have to figure out a way where either they can chump or just kind of hold our creature off, because even if they kill the Voidborn, they're done at 1 life. And I mean, opponent kind of gave us that salute, said good game, and killed themselves by killing the Voidborn. So that was really cool. You don't see that a lot in limited events, but it's nice when people kind of, you know, go out with that level of dignity, let's say. Too often we see people roping themselves to death and just timing out, and those are unfortunate. I mean, I get that sometimes people need to make decisions about, you know, what they're doing. But yeah, I mean, what we learned today, I think, was, I already knew that Mono's Circuit Feeder is an incredible card. And then the Galvanizing Sawship is something that we've never played with a Mono Circuit Feeder. So it's nice to get one because I really wanted to play with one. It wasn't that effective in this game because when we played it out, we didn't really have any artifacts. So it wasn't, you know, as effective as it could have been. But those Saw Ships, man, those things are crazy. Crazy, the fact you can station them for 3. Now, I am really up and down on Spacecraft because some of them are just dirtle festivals that are pretty nonsensical. The Atmospheric Greenhouse, I think, is something that is incredibly situational. That, I mean, if you have 1 or 2 creatures on the board, that's not really making that much of an impact. Like whenever I've been able to get this out, I've only ever had 1 creature on the board. So I don't take that very highly. But yeah, quite a few of the Spacecraft I've not been impressed with, unless they have some sort of immediate impact on the game state, like the one that bounces 2 creatures, the blue Spacecraft that bounces two creatures. The blue one that we just looked at that can create generate a creature every turn out of one of your tokens until end of turn. That's fantastic as well. The Siriema can be good if you have the legends for it, especially now that I realize that, like, if Halia taps to station it, and you can warp Halia in, tap to station it, and she doesn't go away because the effect makes her indestructible. But I thought the whole point of warp was that it exiles the creature. The mechanics of warp, I feel like they weren't drafted up that well. Exile it at the beginning of your next end step, like destroy the fact that the Siriema gives indestructible to your legends. I feel like exile doesn't care about indestructible, does it? Like, am I out of my mind? I thought that. Anyway, maybe I'm getting the rules wrong. A lot has changed since I used to play in the 90s. The rules were very, very different, and it has taken me years to get my head around some of these things. There's no more mana burn. And more is the pity, I suppose. Mana burn was just ridiculous. And we haven't really been able to play Ragos to his full effect, but last game we were going to use him very effectively because we were going to attack with saw ships. If opponent tried to destroy one of them or tap it down or whatever, we could use Ragos to instantly do another 3 damage. I wasn't, like, by that last turn, I wasn't particularly afraid that we were in a lot of trouble, but yeah, opponent definitely fought that one tooth and nail. All right, so this has been another fun draft. Again, hodgepodge of a day, a little bit of a mix-up, but I mean, to me, that's kind of what streams are, is just sit, chill out, have fun, not be, you know, particularly focused on playing all the games in the world. I do like to talk about the game and try to impart some of my knowledge about, you know, how I play and such. So it's cool to have you all here and to be able to share that with you. So until our next adventures together, which I guess will be Wednesday on stream, it's been Mint Alpha Lotus telling you all to keep it mint.